I'm not sure how this movie's going to turn out, um, but it's in response to the first of Shall Not Be Infringes videos that I watched this morning where he's sitting in his truck talking about the sovereign citizen movement. The first thing that I thought of was old Urban Combat Survivor. How, how his big thing was centered around the Second Amendment and how gun owners up until, to me, as far as I can tell too, up until very recently were a little bit disingenuous in how they talked about the Second Amendment. Uh, what I mean by that is they would be, oh yeah, it's for hunting and it's our right and everything else. Instead of being completely honest, it was like, oh, let's not discuss what the original purpose of this rifle was, or what this caliber of weaponry was, or let's use the term firearm instead of weapon, so as to be sure to keep our little rights. But if you call a weapon and a firearm, and you talk about the purpose of the 45 ACP was to be able to drop an enemy that was high on peyote or something, then it really changes the game, and it gives you an additional leg to stand on. But I wonder how things would work out differently if we had used the Second Amendment all along. Now, let me real quick pull something up here. Um, what was that? Wasn't the 1938 Firearms Act? Was that what it is, or the Smith Act? Was it the Smith Act? No, Smith Act. Yeah, I'm getting all this stuff confused. Um, anyway, I made a movie about it, and it was these guys that in their defense they had this sawed-off shotgun, and they were trying to use the whole militia standpoint. Their lawyer was trying to use the militia standpoint of in their defense. Now I don't know what those two guys were doing with their sawed-off shotgun in the 1920s or whenever the hell it was, right? But the way the Supreme Court wording is, and they use the Second Amendment in this fashion, they were not about the business of being militia. Okay? Take a military unit. If they are going to train, it is very obvious what they're going to do. They have a well disciplined and well regulated form of manual that they are following. They have a regimented training schedule. Or if they are going to war, it is very purposeful, and they know exactly what they're going to do. They're not just kind of running around with a sawed-off shotgun. So in a roundabout way, if you are doing that sort of thing, let's say those other dudes were running booze or something, they had the sawed-off shotgun, and this sawed-off shotgun thing was like one more little violation that they were putting on it. They weren't about the business of being militia. They were about the business of running booze, or just they had their little toy along with them. So you got to be careful. Like, oh, I'm going to use the Second Amendment because I am about the business of militia, or that's why I have my firearm. And you're like, well, gosh, you had your firearm slung over your little shoulder there. You're in the combat ready position. Why? Where's the enemy? What's the mission here? Oh no, it's just my right to mosey along. So it ends up we screw ourselves up as much as the other people screw us up, and then when they call us on it, we got nothing to stand on. And you take them carbine clubs guys. Nobody's going to tell them they're not up to something. When you're going to the front sight training facility, and they have a manual of arms that you're following and a set training schedule. I believe that if somebody came into one of those training facilities and said, hey, listen, you guys can't be doing this because da 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 da, they could use the Second Amendment freestanding militia, and I think that would hold up. I mean, we could imagine that it wouldn't, and oh, they'll just come up with something. But you know what? You cross that bridge when you get there. Now, real quick, in closing, I don't want to offend anybody that sees that differently. If you guys are in for our freedoms and you do things like you carry your weapon to demonstrate these certain rights and to make people aware of them, that's cool, and we're on the same page here. But if a person is out breaking the law or peddling dope or whatever and just being an asshole and they've got a gun and they're trying to use the same right that I use to ensure my nation's freedom in order for them to have their little toy, then that's when I kind of, because I don't feel that's the truth. So yep, we'll talk to y'all later.